Alright, in this vid I'm planning on going over these two cameras. I got them side by side, both installed right next to each other as you can see. So we got the Logitech C922x and the Logitech Brio 4K. I've been using the C922x for quite a while now. Just been playing with the Brio for most of today. Most of today. It's pretty late at night. I've had some problems and I've had some good things. You're seeing the camera. They're both right now. Both are set at 1080p, around 30 frames per second. The left one looks a little nicer with me with the default settings. I turn everything off automatic because I have a blue screen behind me, and if I want things to key out properly, I can't have it auto changing color or focus depending on times of day and all that stuff. For a gamer, that's a nightmare. So I turn that stuff off. So right now I'm going to actually I can do this with my background here. Let me turn off this game. So the game's off, and I will put images to the left of me of what I'm doing so you can kind of see my settings inside of XSplit without me having to get the infinite mirror thing that you see so many people do when they're doing this stuff. So right now it comes in at I configured it manually, but it comes in at a weird thing. So I go to video output. It does NV112. I think that's using a video card thing, and it's not very good, not very crisp. You can see my right one froze because that's the one I'm altering right now. To match that, except 60 frames a second, because it does 60 frames a second. The one you're looking at, the one I'm speaking at right now and looking at you with, is only going at 30. But it's supposed to be 1080p at 60 frames a second, so that's what I'm going to do. And we can see the comparison straight side by side. Now that already looks a lot better. Hands down, a lot better. Instead of that, the default, that was much closer to its default setting. You don't want to do that if possible. And then you can see my hand. So you can see the difference between 60 to 30 frames a second. It is a noticeably big deal, but not if you're just a talking head. If you're a talking head, like normal gaming potential down here, nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to really care. But when you do the zoom-ins, or right here and here, you can see. And you can see that the Brio just at 1080p, there's all these dots here, and they're getting picked up so much better. A lot better here. My face is a lot less fuzzy. My facial hairs, all the different definition, all the tufts of gray and colors are showing up and all that stuff. To note, since I've been messing with these, this camera over here gets kind of hot, but just warm to the touch. This guy here, running at this setting, gets really toasty, and I don't know if it's gonna melt down. And when I switch it to, I'm gonna change it to 4K, so you can see the difference right here. Let's go back to this scene so you can see what I'm doing here. So I'm clicking on output, and then I'm going to change it to 4K, and then I'm going to put it at 30 frames a second. This is where this becomes a problem child because I'm worried it gets too hot. But as you can see, I already got crisper, my colors got better, my definition got better. My cutouts are fine in both. I was a little worried about it. Actually, the one on the left cuts out easier because it kind of just washes colors together. So the blue screen or green screen, whatever you'd be using, goes away easier with the older one, just because there's no detail there. It's not picking up the bounce light as well. So you can see this is definitely more meaty, more Tim Glory, and I really like the way it looks. I haven't gone through all the testing. I've had some lockups, some major lockups. I'm going to put it at the very end of the video so you can see one. That's been after it's been running 3 to 4 hours steady, and it starts to lag super behind, but my audio keeps up and the recording seems to work fine, but the cameras don't, I start moving around and it goes way off. You'll see that here in probably a minute or so. It'll just be tagged on the end, not really edited. That's what's going on if you're confused. Oh, what else? When you go down to gaming, I'm going to start Dota up here because that's the game I play all the time. That's the game most people will see here. I just always wanted I don't see enough videos like this where there's just a straight comparison of how things are running or working in that scenario. So I'm doing that because I wish more people would do this.
All pick.
As you can see, it doesn't really matter that I'm 4K and small. If anything, I'm having a harder time. I'm getting a little more judder to over here. And then it feels smoother over here. I don't know if the camera has to work harder. It's definitely not. It doesn't appear to be working harder this second. But it is a little bit off. So if you're gaming so far, if this camera starts to melt your machine, I'll let you know here. Soon I'm going to go through testing and using it for a while because I think I like it and I think I want to start using it. Skip ahead. Excuse me.
For the right price.
But I really recommend you... Let me turn this game off the background so you don't see it. And then put this back here. My favorite settings so far are, if you have a blue screen, you're going to want to mess with your inputs and pull that off auto. I'll show you that in a second. I think I'm going to make a video discussing how you can get accurate frames per second off your video camera. A lot of gamer people are confused to it and they kind of let the camera do its thing and it works too hard. So I'm going to do something different. So 60 frames a second.
30 seconds.
I'm pretty happy with just that. I think that's good enough. It's definitely a lot crisper. I feel more modernized. But when I go bigger screen, it should feel better. But when I go back to the game, which we're going into right now, you can see it doesn't really make any difference to how things will react or move around. But I like it. I'm gonna put the C9. The Brio is much more expensive than the C922x. I'm not sure 60 or 80. I'll put the Amazon links down so you can take a look and see cost and see what you might want to do. I'd be a little hesitant. Use it hard if you buy it because I haven't gone through all the testing yet. On the Logitech C922x has been good to me. You just need good lighting and that stuff will fly. But you really buy it and then break it in hard and see if it kills your stream, because if it's going to melt your stream for the resolution you want it at, it's useless. And I'll note down below after I've had a couple days, and it'll be like my pinned comment to the top of how this stuff is working out. I'm still playing the game and you guys can't even see the game. That's funny. Turn it on. Alright, and now I'm going to jump to that outrageous clip of what happened. Oh, okay, before I lied. Before I do that, what happened was it ran a long time, all that stuff. So I updated my video card drivers. I haven't done that in like 2 years to the newer version of XSplit. So it might have fixed any of these issues. And I will check my thing right now. And I'm not running too hot. I think it was a memory leak in XSplit. And I think it's still there. I think it's just a lot slower. So I might be able to get like 8 hours out instead of 3. I won't know that until I just hit it hard and hit it with one camera. There's no really point for me to have 2 cameras up. There, no. And that's a little more complicated too. So here we go. Listen to my weirdness of my other thing. Hopefully this is helpful. Let other people know what works for you and what doesn't work for you, because this is supposed to help people out. So if you have experienced something good, something bad, let me and let them know. Thanks. I'm just recording this. Joe's is partially in my background, but this is a show that right now I'm running 2 cameras at the same time, and it is super having problems. You can see the problems. I'm not sure if it's the 2 cameras or it's the Brio, but I haven't experienced it solo with my C922x maybe ever. So I'm not sure if it's because it's dueling up or what's going on, but I'll have to run tests with each one solo or the Brio solo for a while to see if that makes a difference. I doubt it's going to help anything. That guy's pretty hot. This guy on this side is really hot. This guy over here is just the normal toasty. I'm going to hit stop record. Hopefully